The next step is to figure out what the width is of the website that was created in Photoshop. So we can do this somewhat easily. I'm going to select the ruler tool by going right here and choosing ruler, or I can press this keyboard shortcut. Next, I'm going to specify the edges right here. And if I hold down Shift, I can limit it to a straight line like so. Now I'm going to go to the end, and it appears in this case that the width is 935 pixels. However, we're still going to use the 960 framework because there may be some margins involved. So let's do that now. We're going to go back to 960.js and download these assets once again. If you're not familiar with 960, be sure to go back and watch the episode on it. And I'm going to open up these two directories, and I'll turn each one side by side. And now we're going to go into the code, CSS, and we're going to copy over the necessary files. In this case, we're going to copy over the text, which is their base text file, a reset, and then the 960 framework itself. Now, if we want to do both 12 columns and 16 columns, we can choose this. However, if we want to limit it so our file size is smaller, we can use this one right here. Now I will drag those in, and we're all set. Now I'm going to reference them. First one that we're linking to is our reset. Next, we're going to reference the text.css. And finally, we're going to link to 960.12 call.css referenced right here. All right, if you'd like to self-close these, you can. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to save this, and now let's reload this in the browser and see what we have. Okay, well, because we have applied some base grid class names like container 12 and grid 10, we already have a little bit of formatting, and it's starting to look like an actual website, but we need to do a little more. The first step is let's work from top to bottom. We're going to get the header and the navigation area. So let's take a look at our PSD again for reference, and the navigation is all on one line. So let's do that now. Right here, I'm going to create a divider, and I've created a snippet. I encourage you to do the same, and we'll call this header. And we're going to take all of this information right here and place it in here. And that way I can easily browse through my style sheet. A little trick is to also use an equal sign at the beginning, and then you can search for equal header and it automatically goes there. Because otherwise, if you just searched for header, it's going to bring up every reference to header. So that's a nice little trick to know. Next, I'm going to create a divider for our navigation. And let's first start by making the list items inline. So we'll say nav li display inline, save it, and let's come back. And now we can see those are being displayed inline, but they're right underneath black and white. So why don't we float the logo to the left and float the navigation to the right? We'll try that. Float left, and navigation will float to the right. Let's try it out again. There we go. That's looking better. However, because we did float, we've learned about this, because we floated these two elements, they've collapsed, and that's what's making it look like everything is pushed up. So let's come back to our header, and let's use the overflow hidden trick to make sure it contains its floats, and that'll push this information down. The next step is I want to go ahead and add that black box in that we can see right here. So it's just black, so we can specify a big width and a large height, and it's okay because we can adjust this later. Within index.html, we called it grid2. I need a better name, and we'll probably say perhaps callout, and you can change this later depending upon what you add there. Next, I'm going to go to the banner, and I'm going to put that within a divider as well because that's something I'll probably come back to often. There we are. And next we'll say callout, and that's going to have a background of black, and we'll give it a height of 200 pixels for the time being. And now notice it should be the exact height of the background image here. So I can see that I set it to 231, so I'm going to duplicate that as well.